Guys, well, let's keep working on this photo in PhotoDirector. Well, it's not really a photo, is it? It's AI generated image. But this would be step 4. So I will pull up. I suppose I should start having this open when we do these videos, but because everybody out there knows how to do this. So I'm going to do this first, actually. I'm going to convert this because we're going to start playing with the lighting. Now we've removed a bunch of objects out of it. We've moved some things around. I am going to convert it to CMYK. And um, if you don't know what CMYK is versus RGB, CMYK is what a printer prints in. So it uses cyan, magenta, yellow, and the K they call key for black. Don't understand that, but either way, that's beyond this old coots, you know, realm of expertise. I won't do a video about RGB versus CMYK because there's many of them out there on YouTube. If you want to know, like in depth, what the difference is between RGB and CMYK, search it out on YouTube. There are plenty of videos that explain it a lot better than I can. But what I need to know, what you need to know, why I do this is because aside from the downloadable wallpapers that these images are available in, I also have them available print on demand in, posters and a premium art style print that's on a museum quality paper. Um, but those printers print in CMYK. So, in order for me to get an idea of what it looks like or what the final printed product will look like, I like to play with it in CMYK while I'm specifically doing anything with lighting, brightness, contrast, colors, any of those things. I want to be working on a file that's in CMYK so that I don't have to get a proof in the mail and go, oh my God, this is way different than what it shows on the screen because they are two different things. Now I submit the images, I upload them to the print on demand supplier as RGB. It's the actual physical printing machine that takes that RGB file and converts it to CMYK and then prints it with the inks in the machine. So it's kind of a convoluted process, and a lot of people that are doing print on demand don't even know about it. So I want to make sure I cover this. I've probably chatted on long enough. I should just be doing this while I'm talking to you guys, but we are going to take our step 3, and this does have a 25 megabit file size maximum upload on this particular one, rgb2cmyk.org. It's perfect for me. It's free. As long as you're not working on big images, it will convert them for you. There are some options for all these different types of CMYK profiles. Unless you directly know which profile your print on demand provider is using, um, best to use the default, which is swap 2006. Ugh, spit that out, will you? Um, so I'm going to just convert this real quick into CMYK. It only takes a second or two usually. This is an ad heavy website, but hey, it's free. That's how they pay to keep it free. And if you look on the screen here, you can see the difference between our PNG and RGB and what a CMYK photo looks like. So we're going to save this CMYK uh, in here, and then we're going to pull that up in uh, PhotoDirector. My gosh, man, what is wrong with me today? So yeah, in PhotoDirector365, what this video is about, we're going to pull it up, step 3, and we've got the CMYK now. So you can see it's a little bit different In terms of the lighting, let me make sure my brightness is all the way up. Yep, my brightness is all the way up. So we are in guided. There is Gen AI Studio. Design is the other, the more expert level in PhotoDirector 365. And I do use design for certain things. I just find that there are certain things that I think, maybe it's my own impression, but I think they function better in guided. Um, so we have our edit tab over here. Quick, this is new. This is part of the new update. And look at me trying to point at the screen like you guys can see what I'm pointing at. Here where my mouse is, this new quick, it's got some just shortcuts, I guess you would consider it. Um, but up until today, that wasn't there. So it was edit, enhance, portrait, effects. So we have under edit, obviously crop, rotate, flip. We've done resize. If you need to downscale the picture, that's fine. Resize in here doesn't seem to do anything other than downsize the picture. I will show you in GIMP, which I do use for upgrading um, or upscaling. Sometimes when you do a conversion, you end up with a DPI that's lower than 300, which 300 DPI is what you want to print at. So I will use GIMP to resize the image according to the resolution. And it does a really good job of doing that to make sure that it's at 300 DPI when I submit it for mock-ups for print on demand. We also have the auto manual removal, which we used in one of the other videos. Wire removal, which I haven't really used yet. You've got blur and focus tools, object move and object clone, which we used object clone. Object move works exactly the same, except for you take that object and move it somewhere else. You don't take a copy of it and can adjust it in the photograph like we did with the clouds on the last one. Smart Patch I have not used yet. Replace, extend. I showed you the extend in the first video in this series. This stuff I don't use because I don't do 360-degree photos. So, but there is 360-degree photo options in here. Right now, today, now that I've rambled on long enough, I'm sure for all of you, we're just going to play around a little bit with the adjustments to the basic adjustments for what we're doing. We can do an auto color enhancement, and then we can also denoise and deblur. Um, if we take the picture and we go up just a little bit so we can see the resolution a little bit better, I'm going to show you what denoise does, and it takes a couple seconds to do. And look at how crisp this became. And some of this just got so much crisper and clearer. So we're going to check the full image first and make sure it didn't screw anything up outside of that. But that was a really cool thing. And if you missed it, here, let's clear it out. Let's zoom up back where we were again. And when we denoise it, it really makes it crisp. So we're going to go ahead and allow that to process and keep that. And then we're going to go back to our fit view. And I don't think I need deblur for anything. I'm going to check the AI auto color enhancement to see what it does, but I very rarely use it. So I prefer to adjust things myself. And we're going to apply that, and it brightened it up a little bit. It didn't really do much for it. I mean, I can I can do that in 2 seconds on. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the adjustment tab, and we don't need to worry about white balance, I don't think, because I'm pretty happy with where this is at. I mean, if I make it bluer or I make it yellower, the nice things about these sliders in uh, Photo Director is that if you just double click on them, they go back to zero. Then you move way over here and you just double click and it goes back to zero. So we make it real purple, which I love purple, but no. So I'm not worried about white balance. I'm going to uncheck that. Well, I don't have to uncheck it. I can just close it. What I'm going to do I'm not going to worry about level. I'm not going to worry about color in this video because we will play with that later. What I am going to deal with is sharpness, clarity, haze, saturation, vibrance, and the exposure, contrast, brightest, darkest levels. What I like to do is start with sharpness, and I want to be up about 100 zoom so that I'm at least looking at it a little bit closer. And as I move this slider, you guys should see this really jump to life. And we might be getting a little too much there. Sorry, I've got to kind of look in. I might zoom this up again just to get a better look at him and the door behind him. Because when you've got too much sharpness, it actually starts to fade some of the crispness. Crispness. Sorry about that, guys. So I think now we're starting to go the other way. I'm going to go back to 100% just so I can get a little wider view. I think I want to be right around 60, 65 maybe. Yeah, I think 65 is pretty good. So I'm just going to 65 right there. Now I'm going to look around a little bit just to see, and this little navigation pane, if I want to see down here in this corner, I just move it out of the way. But yeah, that really sharpened things up, especially this door and the ornate carvings and things on it. Oops, get over there. Put you back where you belong. So I'm happy with the sharpness there. Now I'm going to play with the clarity a little bit, and I usually go darker on the clarity rather than lighter. And I want to get some of the clouds in this too. So if I go lighter with the clarity, because this is so dark, there's a possibility that this will help, but usually it doesn't. But if I start to go darker with the clarity, as I slide towards the black, it's going to help the sharpness, particularly in the mountains and stuff. So we'll go back, and then we're going to get some more clarity in the distance, which is really cool. I think I'm going to be about 65 on that too. Now, every photo is different. Every image is different. This one happens to be 65 sharpness and 65 clarity that I'm happy with. But that doesn't mean that every photo is 65 and 65 because it all depends on the coloration. There's a ton of things that can play into that. And now we're going to play with the contrast just a little bit and see what we get up here. You know, that's taking away some of the sharpness that we got out of it. But if we go too, well, actually, so if we go too far that way, hang on, let me take a look at this. Like I said, I put time into these. This is not a, oh, here, let me quick do this and let me quick do that. I really want to know what this guy and the door behind him are getting out of the contrast. See how much he darkens up? And then if we bring it back the other way, we get a little more definition. So this is a case where negative contrast is actually helping what we're looking for. So let me take a look at yeah, that turned out pretty darn good. Now on this, you can't see it because my head's in the way. Down here on the lower portion of the screen, there is a clear where you can reset everything before you do anything. Because once I hit this back button up here next to adjustments, it's going to process the image according to what we just set. And I can go through and I can set everything and then process it, but I have found, at least to my eye, when I set everything and then I process it, the image shifts some through the processing. So I deal with contrast, clarity, and sharpness first because those are going to make the detail pop. And then we'll start dealing with color and that kind of thing. I think this video has probably gone on long enough, so I will end it here. I will save this as a step 4, and we will pick up in the next video dealing with the color. I will export this as step 4, and once I have step 4 in there, I'm going to again go over and put it, don't put it in JPEG, put it in PNG. I am going to go over and I will CMYK it again just because I want that color correction. I want to know what the print looks like. And there may not be a big difference. I just want to know with the conversion. So when we come back for the next video, I will have converted it back into CMYK, and I won't make you guys sit through me loading it. I'll actually have it on the screen. It will be step 4 in CMYK, and we'll do a little bit with the color in the next video. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. There should be a video up here somewhere. I don't know. It's an end card. It will be part of this series. So if you've missed any of it, go back and look. And we will see you on the next, guys. Remember, let the chaos out, guys. Be creative.